as mice, but who looked and acted a lot like people today. Their names were Hem and Hoa. Due to their small size, it would be easy not to notice what the four of them were doing. But if you looked close enough, you could discover the most amazing things. Every day, the mice and the little people spent time in the maze looking for their one special cheese. The mice, Sniff and Scurry, possessing only simple root brains but good instincts, searched for the hard-nibbling cheese they liked, as mice often do. The two little people, Ham and Hoa, used their brains, filled with many beliefs, to search for the very different kind of cheese with a capital C, which they believed would make them feel happy and successful. As different as mice little people were, they shared something in common. Every morning, they each put on their jogging suit and running shoes, left their little homes, and raced out into the maze looking for their favorite cheese. The maze was the labyrinth of corridors and chambers. Some corridors delicious cheese, some containing delicious cheese, but there were also dark corners and blind alleys leading nowhere. It was an easy place for anyone to get lost. However, for those who found their way, the maze held a secret that let them enjoy a better life. The mice, Sniff and Scurry, used the simple trial and error method of finding cheese. They ran down on corridor, and it proved empty, they turned and ran down another. They remembered the colors of no cheese and quickly went new areas. Sniff would smell out general direction of cheese using his great nose, and Scurry would race ahead. They got lost, as you might expect, went off in the wrong direction and often bumped into the walls. However, the two little people, Ham and Hoa, had very complex brains with beliefs in motion that made life amazing, more complicated and challenging. They realized a more sophisticated method found cheese, depending ability second alone for past experience over their ability, sometimes clouded by the way they looked at things. Eventually, in their own way, they all discovered what they were looking for. They each found their own kind of cheese one day at the end of the corridor in Cheese Station C. Every morning after that, the mice and the little people dressed in their running gear and headed over to Cheese Station C. It wasn't long before they each established their own routine. Sniff and Scurry continued to wake early every day and race through the maze, always following the same route. When they arrived at their destination, The mice took off their running shoes, tied them together, and hung them around their necks so they could get to them quickly. Tied them together, hung them around their necks so they could get to them so they could get to them quickly so they could get to them quickly whenever they needed them again. Then they enjoyed the cheese. In the beginning, Ham and Hoa also raced toward Cheese Station C every morning to enjoy the tasty new morsel that waited them. But after a while, a different route set in for the little people. Ham and Hoa awoke each day a little later, dressed a little slower, and walked to Station C. After all, they knew well the cheese was how to get there. They had no idea where the cheese came from or who put it there. They just assumed it would be there. As soon as Ham and Hoa arrived at Cheese Station C each morning, they settled in and made themselves at home. They hung up their jogging suit, put away their running shoes, and put on their slippers. They became very comfortable now that they had found the cheese. "This is great," Ham said. "There is enough cheese here to last us forever." The little people felt happy and successful, and thought they were not secure. It wasn't long before Ham and Hoa regarded the cheese they found at Cheese Station C as their cheese. It was such a large store of cheese that they eventually moved their home to be close to it and built a social life around it to make themselves feel more at home. Ham and Hoa decorated the walls with saying and even drew pictures of cheese around them, which made them smile. One read, "Having cheese makes them happy." Sometimes Ham and Hoa would take their friends by to their pile of cheese to Station C and point it with pride, saying, "Pretty nice cheese, huh?" Sometimes they shared with their friends, and sometimes they didn't. "We deserve this cheese," Ham said. "We certainly had to work long and hard enough to find it." He picked up the nice fresh piece and ate it. Afterward, Ham fell asleep, as he often did. Every night the little people would waddle home full of cheese, and every morning they would confidently return for more. This went on for quite some time. After a while, Ham's and Haw's confidence grew into arrogance and success. Soon they became so comfortable they didn't even notice what was happening. As time went on, Sniff and Scurry continued their routine. They arrived early each morning, and sniffed and scratched and scurried around Cheese Station C, inspecting the area to see if there had been changing. They inspect the area to see if there had been any change from the day before. Then they would sit down and nibble on cheese. One morning they arrived at Cheese Station C and discovered there was no cheese. They weren't surprised, since Sniff and Scurry noticed the flat cheese getting smaller every day. They were prepared for the inevitable and knew instinctively what to do. They looked at each other, removed the running shoes they tied together and hung convenient around their necks, put them on their feet, and raised them up. The mice did not overanalyze analyze things. To the mice, the problem and the answer were both simple. The situation at Cheese Station C had changed, so Sniff and Scurry decided to change. They both looked out in the maze. Then Sniff lifted his nose, sniff, and nodded to Scurry, who took off running through the maze. When Sniff followed as fast as he could, they were quickly off in search of new cheese. Later that same day, Ham and Hua arrived at Cheese Station C. They had not been paying attention to the small change that had been take place each day, so they took it for granted their cheese would be there. They were unprepared for what they found. What? No cheese? Ham yelled. He continued to yell. No cheese? No cheese? I thought if he shouted loud enough, someone would put it back. Who moved my cheese? He hollered. Finally, he put his hands on his hips. His face turned red, and he screamed at the top of his voice, "It's not fair!"